from verse. We can, I think, do first 10 verses today. Anybody, Mataji, would like to start the discussion on this?
Krishna, voice is a little low.
My voice?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I will skip the- Now is it okay?
Yes. Yes.
My laptop was little bit.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so Mataji, would like to start?
No, Prabhuji, we will hear from you. Then we will say whatever understanding, our understanding.
We can discuss. Okay, so like last chapter, like fifth chapter, Karma Yoga, then Krishna at the end took the discussion to the point where he is mentioning how you have to focus inside, right? If you want to be happy, and if you focus inside, then you will be happy, right? And then you should relish within. So now Krishna at the end of the last chapter, he also mentioned about two processes, right? In the last verses, he mentioned about Ashtanga yoga practice, right? How the yogis do this practice. And then in the last verse, he also mentioned about the bhakti yoga, right? So these two hints he gave, right? So last was like the bhaktaram, so all the yajnas are for me, right? So you should offer that to me, of the Supreme Lord, Paramatma. So there he took the bhakti part, right? Then before that he mentioned sparsham krutva bahirva. So these two verses mention among the sense control, how to do the sense control and focusing between the eyebrows, all those things, right? So this is Ashtanga Yoga part, right? So here he also mentioned about Pran and Vayu, right? And so that is Ashtanga Yoga. So now in this chapter, Krishna actually start discussing about these yogis, right? So now this discussion goes beyond the Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? So just uh, Krishna has told, right, the yajna, by doing the yajna and offering the results to Paramatma, what happens? Your heart gets purified. And when your heart gets purified, then you are free from the bondage. And that is Nishkam Karma Yoga result, right? Then uh, your heart becomes pure, then what happens? Then you get the knowledge, that proper knowledge, which the transcendental knowledge, right? That Krishna said that this is what you will get by Nishkam Karma Yoga and purity of the heart, right? And then with that pure heart and knowledge, then you start practicing to the next stages, right? So how to focus inside and how to engage or disengage, engage inside and disengage from the exterior. Go to the internal. So now in this chapter, Krishna first explains about the Ashtanga Yoga practice. So Ashtanga Yoga is little bit higher because the level of the person who practices this is the heart is pure, right? He has the attachment for this enjoyment and everything is almost gone. And that's why he can control on this yogi, right? So becoming a Ashtanga yogi is not so easy. In foreign countries, like in Japan also, there are so many yoga studios, right? So, which mostly they teach about the Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, the 8 Vayus, 8 stages of Ashtanga Yoga. They teach on that, and people like it. Right? Why people like it? Because there is some action, right? So you control your breathe, how you take inside, how you so focus on that. Then there is always action going on with your body, and then you try to focus your senses. So people like this Ashtanga Yoga, and generally, like this Ashtanga Yoga is not the Ashtanga exactly same Ashtanga Yoga that Krishna is explaining, right? Because Krishna is explaining much higher level of Ashtanga Yoga, right? It's not in the yoga studio or somewhere. It's in the secluded place, right? That we'll see in this chapter. Krishna tells how that should be done, right? But these yoga studios, we don't see like they follow this process, right? So it is a part of Ashtanga Yoga which people like, and but of course, these Ashtanga yogis they teach. They also have attained some stage of even if that not the yoga rule stage, but yeah, they are at least controlling their mind and senses. They are free from their lust. So there are people who are teaching this in foreign countries. I have met some people who practice Ashtanga yoga, Kundalini yoga, uh, and they do meditation, long time meditation, and they teach also, and they also are they practice celibacy, and they're looking at their face, we can understand, oh, this person looks peaceful, he's in control. So there are such yoga teachers that I have also met, right? So of course they are from India, from Japan also. There are people who are very much balanced in their approach, right? So now Krishna explains this in uh, this sixth chapter of, and then at the end of this chapter again Krishna takes this discussion towards bhakti yoga, that no, the highest is the bhakti yoga, right? So he takes the discussion still further, right? So you becoming a yogi, if you want to become a yogi, you become a bhakti yogi. So that's where Krishna ends this chapter, right? So I just wrote this, if how this chapter can be split, right? So 1 to 9 is first discussion of what type of yogi, right? Who is the beginner and who is the person who has achieved the perfection. So Krishna is just continuing this talk, right? There is no question or anything. Right? So Krishna, in the fifth chapter, where Krishna started speaking, there was no question, right? In fifth chapter, it was Krishna speaking directly to Arjuna on different points, right? Karma Sannyas Yoga. So it's a question. Arjuna asked the question in the beginning, right? What is better for me, right? Karma yoga, or I should do the action or give up the action. And then Krishna just speaking, right? And so in this chapter also, it begins with Sri Bhagavan Vacha, but it's the same conversation Krishna is doing, right? So if you see the last chapter of the Bhaktaram Yamata Pasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. So Paramatma is the Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Surudam is the friend of Sarva Bhutana. Nyatva Mam Shantim, the one who knows this, he attains the liberation, or he attains the Shantim, that Shatam means the eternal liberation. And then this verse, right? So knowledge of Paramatma is important, or he can get through bhakti, right? Here he says, and then he says, okay, Arjuna, so this is the perfect yogi. And but still then Krishna says like, Arjuna, it's not like that you can directly give up these activities, right? Or you can just stop the activities and start practicing. What practicing? What he has mentioned, like equilibrium, prana and apana. You cannot do that. You need a particular type of level and status to do that also. That is what Krishna is telling, right? So just don't give up the action immediately. And then that's where Krishna begins this discussion, right? Just don't give up everything, because this will, if Krishna says, okay, give up this action, then that's what Arjuna is saying. Like, I don't want to fight. I will give up all action. I will take sannyas. Uh, That is Arjuna's point also. So Krishna is saying, no, 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 don't do that. Why? Because your mind is not pure. Why Arjuna's mind is not pure? Which anybody can think Arjuna is a devotee. How his mind is not pure? Because in this situation, he has some desire. What is his desire? He don't want to fight. And he attached to the externals. What externals? His relatives, how I can kill them. So from that perspective, he is not still in pure mind, right? So he needs knowledge, and he needs to do the Nishkam Karma Yoga so that he attains purity of heart, right? So he has to work. So Krishna is not saying, no, don't give up. And so he's telling the higher understanding of sannyas, right? So he says, like Arjuna, what is sannyasa, or what is sannyasi, or what is yogi? And so when you are doing your action, but you are not attached to the results, anashritam karma phalam karyam karma karoti. So you do your karma, but you are not attached to the results. Uh, That is the stage of sannyas. That is what Krishna is telling, right? Just giving up action and going into forest, what Arjuna was saying, is not sannyas. That's wrong understanding. Much higher level is, okay, you do, but you are not attached. Uh, So then Krishna continues the same discussion in second verse also, right? So renouncing the results of your action is sannyas. That's what he told in the first verse also. But he adds one more thing, yoga. Here he adds, Yam sannyasam iti prahur yogam tam vidi pandava. So he says, what you are calling sannyas is same as yoga. Why? Nahi asanyasta sankalpa yogi bhavati kaschana. So you cannot become a yogi till you give asannyasasta sankalpo. Sankalpo means desire, actions, something I want. So till you give up that, you cannot become yogi. He's saying it is same. So I want something, I'm doing some action, I want something for myself, for my enjoyment, okay, for my enjoyment or my family enjoyment, whatever you say, it's my enjoyment. Till we have this desire, this connection, uh, we are not renounced in the action because we are seeking something from that action. But Arjuna is saying, like, you can only become sannyasi when you give up these desires, right? So it's the same, Arjuna. Don't misunderstand that sannyas means just go to the forest. No, it's not the external action, it's internal, right? So your mind, uh, yoga means what? Your mind is not getting disturbed by you have desires. So Krishna is not saying that you will not have desires. You will have desires, but you are not agitated by those desires. Your mind is steady. That is called yoga. So yoga is connection, right? Yoga means yuja, the connection. So you are connected with the Supreme in very steady state. So even if there are so many desires, so many attractions, agitations come, you are fixed. And that is yoga. Uh, And why you are fixed? Because you don't have any attachment to the actions, results, and anything. So it's same, Arjuna. Don't misunderstand between them. You cannot do only one. You cannot be yogi, without renouncing the results. Or without renouncing the results, you cannot become yogi also. So both cannot go together, right? So it's the same. Uh, I hope it's clear, right? Means very clear, Arjuna. Actually, Krishna is very clear, right? So both depend on each other, they compensate each other, it's the same thing. Yeah. So then from 6.3, Krishna starts explaining like what is the process, right, to attain this yogi whose mind is steady here. What Krishna has told, right? Person whose mind is steady is not disturbed and is a sannyasi. So how to attain that stage? Right? Who is that person? What are his qualities? How we can identify this person? This Krishna explains now in next 7-8 verses, precisely 7 verses. So Krishna tells like there are two people, right? One who starts the practice, then that is what? That is Aruratva. And the person who has achieved the perfection of yoga is Yoga Rudha. So you Rudha, Arudha means on the top of it. So we say like when you sit on the chariot, Ratha Rudha. If I am in the car, right, car Rudha. So I am sitting in the car, I am sitting on the Ratha or chariot. So that's a higher level, right? So here it is Yoga Rudha. I missed it like this. So it is Yoga Rudha. So he has achieved the perfection of yoga. So then Krishna tells, like, if you are in the beginning stage of doing this practice, then what you have to do? You have to do karma. By the karma and renouncing the fruits of action or attachment to that, you will purify your heart. Slowly, you will improve your stage of becoming a yogi. Hmm. So, for a person who has started this practice, okay, we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga, right? So, person who has started this, it is understood that when he starts, that means he has some sense of detachment from results. And he has some purity of heart and he has the knowledge of Paramatma. But he's saying at this stage, you should not give it up. You work without attachment. By that, you will get purified. uh, and for yoga road, then he said, one, if you have attained that stage of samadhi, then you can give up the actions. Which actions? And not the actions like generally we think like just give up the action and go to the forest or give up your job and give up your responsibilities. No. Krishna is saying give up all those actions which agitate your senses, which agitate your mind. Agitate means what? Like it disturbs your mind. Uh, you want to become steady, but that mind, I do some actions by which I agitate. So, for example, I am steady, but my eyes are open, my ears are open. So, if I see something which is beautiful, I hear something which is melodious, then my senses become agitated. I want to see it more. I want to hear it more. So that is a problem. Right? So what we do, denouncing those actions which agitate. So my agitation is by seeing something beautiful. So I stop seeing that object. I don't close my eyes. Right? I train my eyes in such a way that I will not see that objects which agitate me. I will not listen to things that agitate me. So that is the way a yoga root Muni has to act. uh. So he actually controls his senses by choosing properly, by choosing the actions properly. Mm. So now in 6.4, Krishna. Now next verses are mostly to this yoga rule person, right? So 6.4 or so is the same theme that is not attached to the sense objects or the ways by which you can attain that sense object. So I want to hear some music. I like it. So I'm attached to hearing that music. So one thing is to hear that music, but to hear that music, I have to do something. Either I go to YouTube or I purchase some CD or I download it from somewhere. So this is a action to hear that music. So this yoga root person, he's so steady. He knows I want to hear that music. So he detaches from that music and also he detaches from the processes to achieve that. So he will detach from YouTube, he will detach from CD stuff, he will detach from downloading website and all. He will detach from that because he knows that this is creating problem for me. This is causing agitation. Uh, so by this, his heart becomes more pure and pure, and he keeps pure, so he can practice. Uh, so this the consciousness is level is very high, right? It's not just focusing on the object, but it's focusing on the process, ways of attaining that object. That is the subtle thing, because the mind is very tricky, right? So now from next verse Krishna will give introduction of mind, right? So mind is very tricky, how it helps, how it uh, dilutes us, right? So if I want to hear that music, my voice is clear, right? I
Yes,
hope.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
So mind, how it tricks, right? I want to hear that music. So now he will say, okay, today you don't do listen that. Okay, today you are fixed, no problem. Maybe tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. Okay, no problem, no problem. And then we wait for 2, 3 days. Then the mind again says, now you have spent 2, 3 days without that music. How about listening it only once? Then we say, no, 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 no. Once if I listen, again I will listen. So I will not do. Still mind keeps quiet. Uh, Again after 2 days, it gives the same idea. just check one line, not full song, just listen to one line. So it will keep giving us different options. And that's how it deludes us. But the yoga root person or person who is fixed, he gives up all those process and everything, right? So there is no way to go there. Of course, you can create ways. So this is what mind does, right? So now Krishna in 6.5 and 6, he tells about the mind, because this uh, Ashtanga yoga practice or yoga practice is mostly to control the mind. Why? Why it is so important to control the mind? Because Krishna tells in 6.5 that with the help of mind, you have to actually elevate your soul, not degrade your soul. Right? So what is this elevation and degradation? Right? So soul is pure, soul does not change, right? We know this. Soul is eternal, soul is constant, it is always blissful, it is all knowledgeful. Then what is this mind degrading the soul? So actually the issue problem is our soul is pure, but our consciousness of or the knowledge of soul is covered by ignorance. So instead of thinking ourselves as soul, we are thinking ourselves as, say, this body. Now I have this body, so I am considering, okay, this is me. The soul is so much covered that these things, okay, this is me, this body is me, this is mine, everything is mine. So how mind degrades, that this attachment with this body is becomes more and more strong. Me, mine, myself, for my people, all these things is what mind does by these desires and attachments. So the soul degrades means what? It forgets our real identity more and more and more. So that is degradation. So Krishna is saying, no, don't do this. Elevate your soul with the help of mind. So mind is the interface with the soul, right? So senses are there at the bottom. The mind is there, intelligence is there, and the soul is there. So mind is a key item between the intelligence and the senses, between the soul, intelligence, and the senses. So either way it can go. It can run after senses or it can go with intelligence and soul. So Krishna is saying, no, when I say that in the last chapter, go inside, focus inside, you will be happy. That means you are mentally renouncing everything. Because Krishna has told, keep giving the actions. Right? So Krishna is saying, use your mind to deliver the soul. So it's not that, of course, outside we need guru, we need guru's mercy, we need association, we need opens, we need good people to teach us. That is required. But ultimately, what is important? All these external uh, subjects or external uh, paraphernalia that we have to use everything outside to focus inside, right? So if we just focus outside, not inside, then there is not be any change, because then because we are not trying to elevate our consciousness. So mind, we have to be in such a way that we use all these externals to focus inside. Then it will deliver. So it will elevate your soul. It will, the ignorance that is covering the soul will be released. And then what happens? The soul will slowly try to understand its reality and real position, not this body. And then you become happy and you become elevated. That is what elevation. So 6.6, Krishna again giving the same concept of mind. Either way, the mind can take you either way. It can completely make you fail in everything, or it can elevate you. And then 6.7, 8, and 9, actually Krishna is talking about the qualities of a yoga person, how to identify, or in another way, how generally I say is understand your own situation. Generally, what happens when there is comparison, like yoga, Aru Ruksha and Yoga Rud. Okay, one is beginner, one is the person who has achieved the goal. So when we start reading these verses or analyzing these verses, the mind tricks us there also. So mind will trick us. Okay, there are these two sages, but I think I am at the yoga root stage. I can control my mind. I can control my senses. Also, this is a trick of mind. Uh, I know I have desires, I have everything, but the mind tries to tell you, no, no, you are okay. You don't have to worry. But because Aruruksha state, then we should be very cautious. And I don't want us to do that way. So it's okay. You are fine. You are not doing so many mistakes. So you are okay. Even if not yoga rude, at least you are very close to yoga rude. So it's okay. And there is the trap, right? So once you feel you are okay, then the problem starts, right? So Krishna is telling now, what is the quality of yoga rude person? So he's equal. Uh, he has conquered the mind, is the first. How he has conquered the mind? By detachment. Uh, he does not have attachment to anything in this world. By that, we already conquered the mind. Then he's same in all dualities like heat and cold, praise and hatred. What this is all outside. This is all outside things, right? So he's saying to these outside externals also. Hmm. And what is internal? Uh, he is happy with what spiritual understanding and realizations he has. Uh, and with the help of that, he keeps the control of senses in our hand. Uh, so how he controls? When we say control of senses, that does not mean like I avoid something, I avoid everything. No, I see the things in a different perspective. So there are two levels that Krishna is telling. So he's telling about the stone and gold and all those things, right, which are very much external, and which the things of this world, right? He sees them as same. So nothing is gold, nothing is stone, everything is fine, and I'm not disturbed by anything, right? Earth, stone, gold, all same. So what we see outside. And the ninth verse, he takes the direction more inside, right? So he's talking about the living beings, uh, the people who are around you, a friend, an enemy, sinful person, pious person, your relative, your enemy. He sees everybody with the same vision. What is the same vision? Uh, is it's your friend who is your well-wisher, he is not too much attached to that person. If somebody is your enemy or creating problem for you, he is not going to hate that person. He will look, both are people and they have their views. I have mine, but he will not uh, avoid that person. Or he will try to associate person who is praising him. So he is equal. You come or you go, it's fine. I am okay, fine. So this consciousness is little bit higher than in animal things like stone and all these things, right? Because when the people are there, when we are dealing with the consciousness, it's not one way, right? The stone and gold or dirt and all these things, in a way, they have attractive power as a sense object, but they will not change themselves, right? Or they themselves cannot emit some consciousness or some interaction, right? But the second verse, the ninth verse, is people who with consciousness, right? So when we deal with people, it's always difficult, right? Dealing with stationary things and dealing with people because it's dynamic. You do something, then that people do something, and from there actually the interaction starts and we start hating or liking somebody. Mhm. So being equal in that is actually challenging. But Krishna is saying that yoga root person, he will be same with all these people also. So at this stage, when you have this stage of consciousness of yoga rule, then actually you can practice the Ashtanga yoga. It's not that anybody can practice Ashtanga yoga. Not easy. If you are controlled by your senses and mind, you cannot sit at one place focusing on something. Very difficult. And we can see that right nowadays. Our focusing capacity is reducing. Nowadays, it's said like a normal person can focus if he has to focus with full attention, right? He can focus for, I think, that some 31 or 32 minutes maximum. But if you see a core, when the person is fully focused, okay, he's not sleepy, he's not tired, and he's listening to something, it's around 20 to 25 minutes somebody can focus. After that, your focus is going down. Right? So this is what is happening with Kali Yuga, right? Previous yugas, people used to focus for days. Now it's not like that. But the yoga root person knows this and he is steady in all the situations. So I would like to stop here. I spoke 20 minutes, maybe more. So I would like to stop here about the first 9 verses, right? Before, because in the next verses, Krishna will go into the process of doing the yoga, right? So I thought like instead of doing half, better to stop here. And now it's open to you, Mataji, to discuss or to add something, some more realizations, some points, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much explaining nicely. This verses I understood about the mind control. Krishna is telling actually for the Ashtanga Yogi, mind control is the most important. Through that they can see inward, they can see the Paramatma. That I understood. Actually, I also realize the mind, if we, as you said, if you are interacting with many people or when we are too much, the mind is too much wavering and thinking a lot. And also you told we can focus only 25 minutes or I don't know, 30 or least 100%. So I feel Krishna, I thankful to Krishna. Krishna is making me to chant. If we compare 5 years before I'm able to chant, I'm really happy. But I pray, Krishna, please engage me to service. But when I chant, I'm cheating kind of, I'm not able to focus my mind. Mind is thinking something only, chanting. So some days it is good, some days, most of the days, I can say the truth, most of the days, I feel I'm not doing good, although Krishna is giving opportunity to chant. 5 years before, I don't know. I wasted the time, that is true. Now he is giving an opportunity. Also, if you see other people morning, they are very busy going to job,
Right.
In that case, really, I'm lucky. I feel Krishna is giving opportunity to chant. I want to use this life really properly. I want to involve myself in Krishna consciousness, but the mind is not in my control while chanting. At least first is chanting, morning is chanting. Other thing is somewhat okay. We can think of Krishna cooking something, it goes okay, worshipping, puja, something. But the chanting is the most important. Also for Kali Yuga, we can do by chanting only. We can go to Krishna. That the important thing why I'm not able to do. Can you give some tips how I can control my mind while chanting?
Okay, so this is first thing is this is not only your problem. This is my problem also. Right? So the mind is not only creating trouble for you, for me, it's creating trouble for everybody. First thing is like mind. We hear about mind. We hear so many things in Shastra. Also, there are so many things written about the mind. So when Krishna says, like Arjuna will ask this question in this chapter, right? Like controlling the mind is not easy, right? So, and Krishna says, yes, it's not easy to control the mind. It's very powerful, right? So, first thing we have to acknowledge that it's very difficult to control mind. Okay. So our expectation that I should be able to control my mind completely and drive my mind in the way I like. Yes, this is our goal, but it is not easy. It is not easy for Arjuna also, okay, who is living with Krishna and who is the master of all the yoga, right? He knows all these Ashtanga and everything. Uh, because Krishna is not telling all these yogas in too much detail to Arjuna, because he knows Arjuna understands all this. But if Arjuna says and Krishna confirms that yes, Arjun, what you are saying, it's not easy. Then Krishna will give the, I think from the for this one, right? 33 to 37, how to overcome the problem of mind, right? So there he says, it is possible by practice, continuous practice, right? So while chanting, I know these lines you must have heard in all the lectures or seminars of chanting, right? If the mind wanders, bring
Yes.
it back,
Yes.
bring it back, right?
Yes. Yes. But again, it goes wandering.
Yeah. So again it goes, bring it back. Again it goes, bring it back. We should not expect that it will not go. Okay. So one of the problem that we have in our life, right, is setting up wrong expectations uh, with ourselves and with people around us. I expect the next person to be nice, but that is my expectation. But actually, that person will decide how he wants to behave with us, right? So our expectations are many times wrong. Uh, so we should not expect that I bring back the mind and it will not go again. No, it will go again. You have to again bring it back. So if you remove that expectation that mind will, once I bring it, it will be under my control, then you will not feel tired or you will not feel that I am not able to control the mind. So the process of bhakti, we are saying it is sadhana bhakti, right? So it's a practice. It's practice of bhakti. What is practice? Like we say abhyas, right? Study. What is that? It's every day we study. In childhood, parents used to tell, right? Don't study only at the exam. Study every day. So you are practicing and you become perfect. You have to do every day. And this is what we are doing in sadhana bhakti. When we say chanting, we have to do it every day. The instruction is every day chant minimum 16 rounds. Why? Because this is a practice. So the Prabhupada knew that if I say only chant on Ekadashi, it's not possible. You have to chant every day, 16 rounds. Every day we are chanting, but still we are facing the same problem. Right? Mind is going, mind is going. So one thing I can tell you is we focus too much on bringing up the mind back. Okay. So what is positive engagement while chanting? Right. Forget the mind. So you just chant. So Srila Prabhupada said, just chant and be happy. He never said chant and be happy. Just chant and be happy. Right. So couple of points that I try to do, right? Daily 2 hours. If I say I need 2 hours for chanting or 2.5 hours for chanting, right? So that time of my daily practice is fixed. I cannot avoid that. So I should not try to reduce that time. If it increases, it's fine, but I should not try to reduce that. That okay, today I want to finish my rounds in 1.5 hours. But that will create problem because the mind will try to okay finish fast, chant
Yes,
more
yes, yes.
fast.
That is true. That is true.
So no,
Sometimes I do that
no,
fastly because
don't do
getting
that.
up late if I want to finish it that certain time, other work I have to do. So that
Correct,
is
correct.
really bad. I also feel it is bad. I accept that.
You should not do that. See, I also try to say like, okay, my chanting should finish by 8 o'clock or 7:30, but that creates problem. Okay. What Bhanu Maharaj said, like, I asked him question this one of the classes. So, Maharaj, like, why it is said like we should chant in the morning only, or you can do better chanting in the morning only. So Maharaj said, like, if you are thinking like that, you are still thinking on the material platform. Okay, the morning time is goodness, a morning time is peaceful, so you can chant better in the morning. Okay, so that is still thinking on the material platform because you are bringing chanting to the goodness level. But chanting is actually above that, right? It's transcendent to these three modes, right? So it's above goodness. So Maharaj said, see, chanting can happen good any time of the day. Okay, anytime chanting can be perfect if you are in proper consciousness. Okay, so Maharaj said, why people chant in the morning first? Because that is the most important part of our life. So I want to do the most important part of my life in the beginning of my day. So I chant in the morning. Okay, but if sometimes you cannot chant, like today I have to still chant some rounds. I cannot finish my chanting, it's okay. I will do in the night, no problem. I can have the same taste and same focus in the night also because even if I am tired, I am feeling sleepy. If I really want to chant with my heart, I will not feel sleepy. That this we have to experience, okay? This we have to experience. Like
Yes.
then if you see, then I also used to be, if I don't finish my chanting within prescribed time, right? Before starting my office or something, I used to get angry. I still get angry. Like I told Bhagyasri, don't talk with me till I finish my chanting. It's not for that I want to do in the morning. It's the intention should be this is the most important time of my sadhana in my day. So I don't want to get disturbed from that angle. It's not for I want to finish quickly. I want to finish before 7. No, not like that. We have to give that importance to that time and we have to fix that. Okay, these 2 hours is for chanting. So 24 minus 2, 22 hours. Plan for those 22 hours. Okay. That is what I try to do. That my even if I get up at 5 o'clock, I think my day starts from 8 o'clock. So I'll plan all the activities from 8 o'clock. Okay, so if I have to cook, I have to go to office, everything, 8 o'clock. So I minus that time, so that anxiety of finishing before this, before that, that goes. And bringing the mind, yeah, it will be required to bring the mind back. Okay. But one practice that I feel, if you do such practice, right, not talking during the chanting, not checking the phone, and sitting in the same place every day. Okay,
Yes.
sitting, that helps actually.
Yes.
So that we have to do. Or if you want to walk, also walk in the same place. Okay, then it helps. Okay, to focus because then you are familiar with the place around you, and then the mind don't try to think, oh, I want to see. If I go to some new place, the mind will say, okay, what is in this corner, what is in that corner, who is coming, who is going, right? So there are so many options. So reduce those options, right? Sitting same place, so mind knows what is around me. You don't try to see, you don't try to find anything. So this some small steps, right? First thing is this is the most important activity of my life and my sadhana. That actually gives much conviction. Yeah. And if I chant properly, all my things are done. That's what Shastra says. So let us do that and let the mind go here and there. And even if mind goes, I don't take it very seriously. Okay, it went. Now I understood. So I am in the higher consciousness. Okay, so let us chant again. Why he went, where it went, no need to think. That's what I practice, because mind is not easy to control. Okay, I am not so much advanced, so it goes. Okay, I will bring it back. Fine. In why it went away from the focus. I chanted 7 mantras. I don't know if I chanted properly or not, but it's fine. What can be done? It's gone, right? So that way, I think it will help, Mataji. You can try. Don't feel don't feel bad if the mind wanders. It's going to do that. That's how it is made. Right? So it's
Thank
not
you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
just
So,
try.
okay, I will try. I will keep up the time first.
Hmm.
Sometime I finish it quickly. So
Hmm.
if you keep up the time, then mind wanders also. We are chanting like this. I am chanting properly like this. I can think at least by mouth chanting. Otherwise,
Yeah.
sometimes if we are finishing quickly, we are not telling the full mantra. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Instead of that, sometimes Krishna,
Hmm.
Krishna, it goes, we,
Correct.
I'm telling.
Yeah.
I sometimes miss the Hare, Hare, Hare. First, the Hare is there, when
Correct.
we do
Correct.
fast.
Hmm.
Mm. That's
So
what we can finish it in short also. We feel, quickly finished. Then whenever I feel I quickly finished means then I didn't chant properly. I missed some of the words.
thing, right? So yeah, like
Mm.
last Hare Hare, right? Hare
Huh.
Rama, Hare Hare. That is always risky. We try to skip that.
Quickly.
We directly go to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Mm.
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So these two Hare Hare, last Hare Hare, sometimes we combine with Krishna Krishna and goes right quickly.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
what
correct.
I do, like this consciously, this two Hare Hare last, like I consciously see that I hear that Hare and Hare clearly. Then I go to next mantra.
Next one. Okay.
Then it helps actually consciousness wise. Okay, last Hare Hare I did hear in last 100 mantras. Okay, now I will hear that. Like.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank
And
you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
one example I have heard when Maharaj gave. See, the watchman, this is the exact example that Maharaj gave. The watchman is on night duty, okay, or I am in the office, right? And 9 to 6, I am supposed to work. I get salary. Okay, so, but when I am in 9 to 6 in the office, I am in front of my laptop, I am doing my office work. At the same time, I'm talking with my family on the phone. I'm doing chatting on the WhatsApp. Sometimes I'm checking YouTube. So in the 9 to 6 time also, I'm doing so many activities, right? So, but I still get the salary, right? So it is
Yeah.
not important that what I do. Of course, I have to do my work, but along with that, I do so many activities, right? So the company sees that, okay, you are working 9 to 6, so I get the salary. And company understands that there are some loopholes you are doing. So like that, when we chant, Krishna will see, okay,
Within us.
he's chanting, so that's fine, right? So
But chanting or cheating also is there, not truthfully chanting,
that's
That
fine,
is.
but still you are chanting, right? So,
Mm.
so that is the power of chanting, right? Even if you are not focused, even if you are mistaking the pronunciation, still chanting has the power. It power does not reduce by our impurity, right?
Yes.
So we have to depend on that chanting transcendental purity. That even if I do so many mistakes, but the name itself is so powerful that it will overcome everything. So that way.
Yeah, that's correct. But I should not take it granted.
Of
I
course.
have to do my work properly. I have to chant
Yeah, yeah.
properly.
So I have to do my 100% and then depend on Krishna.
Yes. By mistakenly, I may tell, but consciously, I have to tell each name of
Correct.
Krishna. Thank you so much. Sorry, it took time. Sorry, Mataji.
No problem. Mataji, you can add if you want to add something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Mataji, no problem at all. I also got to learn a lot of things. So I was also like reading other books of this Prabhupada's books. So today there was a line that said like people chant, but on the power of it they do mistakes. I wasn't like really drawn to that part, but there was a line: a thief knows he will get caught and he will be punished for it. But some people are so rascally that they, in spite of that, they do that thievery, like they do stealing. So that example made me understand what why we need to control our senses. The example may be too like sharp, like stealing or killing or things like that, those that we consider sins and we wouldn't even dream of doing. So it is like the point was we make mistakes despite knowing that we will face consequences for it. So I understood like how much sense can be driving. If not for the big things, it can drive for the small things. So when the verses were talking about controlling the senses towards like not doing the sinful part, there was also this thing that we cannot be inactive. Like the soul needs engagement. So we should pick of the higher taste. So we should instead of serving Maya, which means we just create material desires, we create material consequences, we just shift our focus from this to something with higher taste and towards Krishna. So that will help us to like progress better than trying to just going on controlling the senses, because like it's been reiterated again and again that controlling senses is hard. So we should really focus on shifting our thing towards Krishna. And I think that's a big cycle actually. We have actually been with Krishna, we've gotten diverted, now we are on the redirection path back to Krishna. So we should actually take it up more sincerely, I feel, Prabhuji. That was something from the first verse. And yes, so second was I was just like I felt like Krishna was just explaining and what is meant by a selfish desire even when we renounce. I felt that was more towards that. And yes, the more important thing was about the neophyte in the 6.3, wherein like it's the same concept as we how introduce God and worship to kids. So first we tell them like close your eyes, bow in front of the Lord. He's always watching you, so do everything properly. Like that, even the neophyte devotee has to be first like introduced slowly, and then uh, through all these they get elevated by accumulating knowledge and experience, and then they should want to move to bhakti, Prabhuji. That's what I realized. Like for example, like the office example you said, the boss is always there, he is the higher authority. So like he will give you salary no matter what until you do the work that is required properly. But for him to take notice of you, you have to do something that he expects you to do in a better way than the others, or with more sincerity, or in a like you should show a difference and that you're sincere towards him. Then you will get to see his impersonal face, like not the common face that he shows to everyone, but you will start getting into a closer relationship with the boss, and your elevation also will be better and your progress will be better. But the challenging part with Krishna here is that those kind of it's a very slow process compared to what we can achieve materially. It takes a lot for him to notice, but he's also easy to please. So it's kind of paradoxical. I felt like that, Prabhuji, because bhakti, like we say that we've been doing it for many births. So it is a really, really slow process for which we cannot be impatient. We should not be impatient. We should not expect results like noodles. We should be patient. That is one thing I think we should. I think that thinking in itself takes a lot of. I don't know, Prabhuji, how to explain it.
I know, I understood, because there are so many statements like in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, if you do this, immediately you will be delivered. Right?
Yes.
So that immediately we think, oh, immediately means like what, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years? We start thinking like that, but immediately is from Krishna's perspective of eternity, right? So
Yes,
from
Prabhuji.
this perspective, this 100 years of our life is nothing. We cannot notice that also, right? From eternity point of view. So for him, immediately means for us maybe millions of lifetimes, maybe, right? Okay.
Yes.
But from his angle, it is immediate because oh, it happens so quickly for him, not for us, right? So yeah, so patience is necessary, right?
And in the 6.5 purport, the quote where it says like mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. So if we control the mind, then we should actually take its help. Like the purport says, instead of just cursing the mind, saying that it's like not listening to me, it's going away, it's doing all this. We should train it, for which the sadhana is what is meant to, I suppose, help, right, Prabhuji? Like usually in meditation they say empty your mind, no thoughts should come. But like you were saying, it's not possible to empty the mind. It is not supposed to be empty. Like, I mean, its nature is not to be empty. So we focus on the higher taste, that is towards Krishna. We engage our mind in Krishna, trying to focus on the one single thing. I perhaps think that our sadhana, before it reflects on our bhakti and everything, it will start making tremendous impact on the material life also. Like it'll improve our focus, it'll improve our concentration on one thing. We will become more sincere. Like you said, we can become like better at planning. Like you say, when we, the thoughts that come, the intrusive thoughts are usually those that demand our attention. Like, okay, what am I gonna do about something? So, but if we actually sort it out, like you said, this 1 hour is not meant for sorting the other things. So we will probably focus more on what is at hand. This is on the material perspective, I felt, Prabhuji, when you were explaining. Because like you said, we all have to multitask, and all the tasks are happening all the time in our mind, not in like physically. So it becomes a big challenge to focus on even the mundane of things without getting distracted, right, Prabhuji? And there was one line in which was, I'm not sure, Prabhuji. It was, sorry, Prabhuji, I marked that line, but
No, it's okay.
maybe I'll once I find it, I will put it on the group or something.
Yeah,
Probably.
please share it.
Yes, Prabhuji. The purport line was extremely wonderful. So this one was more or less the one question I had with the example I gave about the thief, Prabhuji. Arjuna is in the middle of a war. This thief is doing something abominable which I will not do. But we all have, I mean, I should not say we, I have a lot of anarthas, but we hardly realize them. Will the bhakti process remove it, or should we definitely take a conscious process towards that also? Because like you said, how the other person reacts is their thing, but I may be doing something that is not pleasant to someone else also.
Yes. So, of course, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, 17, 18, Krishna tells, right, austerity of mind, speech, everything he tells, right? So that we have to do, right? We should speak in a way that it does not agitate the other person, it does not give him misery. So Krishna tells that also. Right? So we have to practice that. Okay. But bhakti is what? Bhakti is such a process that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, right? You want to think Bhakti Shastra, right? So once you start Bhakti process, Once you do it more sincerely, more with feelings, it will automatically remove all those anarthas, right? Because you will not have time to do those anarthas. You will be focused on bhakti, 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 reading and hearing and chanting. So you will not get time to do those things. You will not think of, okay, I want to move of somebody. You will say, oh, forget it, I want to move from to both. Something like this. So more you focus on bhakti, automatically that goes away. Actually, bhakti process kills them, means what? Because our focus, everything is here. So we don't bother about all those things. What next person is doing, how he is behaving. So, of course, with the Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna tells to Arjuna is for us also, with all those austerities that we have to do. We cannot work, we cannot talk anything, we cannot behave like anything and say like I'm doing bhakti, it will go. No. That's why a regulated life is required, like morning program, chanting, reading, aartis, it's particular time the aartis are there. So all this, why all this setup is there. So it's a regulated life, right? And you follow that regulated life. And then you can do bhakti. If you work like without any regulations and rules, you cannot do bhakti. Right? So that's very high level of bhakti, but that also is when we say Raganuga bhakti, that is also Raganuga in sadhana. Right? It's still practice. Don't give up everything in Raganuga also. Right? So you chant in Raganuga also. You worship a deity in Raganuga also. The mood is different. Process does not change. Right? Sadhana does not change. Your mood changes. So all this is set up so that you regulate. So then it becomes easier, right? So we have to practice that. We have to keep all those. Like it was done by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda. Everybody has done that, right? So that's an example. Prabhupada has done that. Chanting 16 times and so we have to do that. Then automatically all these anarthas will go. But if you try to focus on one anartha, it's impossible. Remove all the anarthas. By the time you remove one, and the second comes, we focus on second, the first will again start. It will not go. Right? So we cannot do that. No way possible.
And is there like
that's the fact.
Time? Is there time for one point, Prabhuji?
Yes.
This is a point and something, I don't know, maybe you will answer in the long term. It's like we know Krishna as God first. Like we've been like first we bow down to him. But the love that comes for Krishna, I'm really not able to imagine. Like, for example, we respect our boss. I don't know if we really respect him or the position they hold over us.
Mm-hmm.
So we learn about the qualities of Krishna. We listen to all his glories. The more we listen to his glories of his rescuing his devotees, the more respect that comes towards him, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure what love would mean towards Krishna.
It's not for with everyone. We don't know what exactly that type of love is, right? We just read in the Shastras, Anyavilashita Shunyamoti. What is that? What is Anyavilashita? Why that ta is used? So, how many Avilasha I have? I don't know. I have so many. Right? And without Anyavilashita, and then I start bhakti. So, what is this? We cannot fathom that. We cannot imagine that, right? So, to experience that also, right? So, if we do our sadhana correctly, chanting correctly, like there was one example, like one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada that after Brahman initiation he got the mantra. So he asked Prabhupada, what is the meaning of this mantra? It is in Sanskrit. I want to understand the meaning. So when I chant that mantra, I will focus on the meaning. So Prabhupada said, you don't need to know the meaning. You focus on the mantra will reveal in the meaning. Okay. So Prabhupada said, I can tell you the meaning, but the mantra itself is going to reveal you what it means if you chant that mantra properly. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada said, like love of Krishna, surrender to Krishna, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra will reveal you that. You don't have to do something extra to get that revelation.
Right.
So it's in the mantra only. It's only our problem. We are not able to chant properly. Simple as it is. And we have offenses and we are not able to chant properly. So we are not getting that feeling. So
again, patience also, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so we have to keep doing.
Right.
Like when the river flows, right? If you want to be the stones, if you observe the small stones, right, when the flow of water is there, they are just there in that water, and then they become very smooth automatically by the flow of the water. The stone does not do anything. Just the water flows and the stone becomes smooth from all the sides. How that happens, we don't know. That happens by friction of that water flow and the stone surface. It becomes very smooth. So that way, when we keep this sadhana bhakti going on, right, the flow of mercy is always there. So we keep chanting, keep doing our sadhana. By this flow, automatically we will get revived. We will get revived and everything will be revived. Our only responsibility is just keep doing. Okay, and rest Krishna will do, right? Like Damodar. We have to keep doing without thinking I am progressing or I am not progressing. I am feeling love for Krishna, I am chanting properly, my mind is nothing. We have to keep doing. That is our job. Just do our bhakti, do our sadhana, and forget the rest. Krishna will take care. Right? That is one way, actually. That is what is expected.
Understood, Prabhuji. Yes.
You can try to manage your chanting that I would chant very nicely. That is good mood, but you just chant. Krishna will tell you how you chant nicely. Right? So it depends on the mantra. Reveal everything.
Definitely, Prabhuji.
That's surrender also.
Hare,
Okay.
Hare.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. A little bit over time, but it was good discussion and good points that we can implement. Right? So thank you very much for nice points and nice discussions.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Mataji, I would like to add next class about your thing. My realization I would like to add.
Definitely.
Okay, Mataji. For next time we will start with that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your time and all the wonderful explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, how many verses I have to study?
So maybe next time we will from 10 to 32, right? Because it's a flow.
10 to 32.
Yeah, because it's a flow till Arjuna asked the question, right? It's all just like the explanation how to do the practice. And
Okay.
So I think we can do that. So I will also do
Okay,
that.
okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Then let's see how much we can do next time.
Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.